much of the story still remains in the most unsuspected places. But not for long, for treasure hunters loaded with their metal detectors seek to scour every nook and cranny in search of the unknown, whether for greed, entertainment, or simply for the indescribable thrill of finding that which no one has touched for centuries or millennia. These seekers come to spend part of their lives in scrutinizing the ground they walk on. The most important and amazing thing is that sometimes they discover something they would never have dreamed of. Let's get to know the most surprising discoveries that treasure hunters have found with their metal detectors. In 1977, gold prospector Ty Paulson was exploring a piece of land near Randsburg, a town of less than 100 inhabitants, located in the middle of the Mojave Desert in California, USA. This area is famous for its mining activity, and many have dreamed of making a discovery similar to the one Paulson made. He used his metal detector to find a valuable gold rock weighing 156 ounces, equivalent to a weight of 4.9 kilograms. This natural gold rock is known as the Mojave Nugget and is on display at the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County. Although it is not the largest gold stone ever found with a detector, as in 1980, Kevin Hillier discovered the Hand of Faith, the name given to a mammoth nugget weighing 960 ounces, which is equivalent to 27 kilograms. The gold stone was sold to the Golden Nugget Casino in Las Vegas for $1.1 million, where it is currently on public display. In 2007, a father and son found the most important Viking treasure of the last 150 years on an English farm. David and Andrew Whalen, with the help of their metal detector, found this incredible treasure in the town of Harrogate, England. It consisted of almost 700 pieces, of which 617 are silver coins. Apart from other artifacts, such as silver ingots, a gold bracelet, or a French silver jug, all together would have an estimated value of £1 million. The treasure was accumulated by the Vikings during the 9th century AD. Most of it was obtained thanks to the looting of foreign populations. Some of these pieces come from countries as disparate as Ireland, Russia, Scandinavia, and even Afghanistan. British archaeologists consider it an important discovery worldwide and one of the most important made in England in the 19th century. Following a Harrogate court ruling, the Whalen Viking treasure was declared a national treasure and cultural heritage of England. In 2010, an anonymous treasure hunter was walking his metal detector in a British field when he suddenly came across a spectacular find. At a depth of about 25 centimeters, he began to extract small copper fragments until he collected a total of 67 that were part of a single piece that had been completely smashed. When he put it back together, the treasure hunter did not know what he had in his hands and thought it was a Victorian-style ornament. But once he dug into the archives, he realized its true value. The piece is known as Crosby Garrett's helmet and is a Roman cavalry regalia made of bronze dating back to the 1st century. The helmet is composed of a mask of curly hair, wearing a Phrygian cap adorned at its tip with a gargoyle. This object was completely restored by Christie's auction house. Qualified by experts as an exceptional object, it is one of only 3 found in Great Britain that do not exist elsewhere. And because the object did not fall into the category of treasure governed by the Treasure Act of 1996, the discoverer has been able to sell it freely, and Christie's was in charge of auctioning it with a starting price of £300,000, $450,000, and ended up selling to a private buyer for £2.3 million, about $3 million. In 2017, an amateur archaeologist discovered, thanks to his metal detecting device, a gold and silver treasure buried in a forest in western Germany. The treasure was confiscated by the German authorities after its discoverer had tried to sell the pieces on the black market. It was then that experts had the opportunity to take a closer look at the pieces that could be part of the legendary Nibelungen treasure. The epic poem of the Song of the Nibelungs details its riches resting somewhere on the Rhine River, where those who believe in the legend still search. The treasure has been dated to around 400 AD and consists of exquisite gold and silver pieces valued at around €1 million. In 2015, novice divers were diving in the Mediterranean Sea off the coast of Israel when they suddenly spotted what looked to them like a toy coin on the seabed. The divers showed the find to the director of the diving club, who immediately reported it to the country's marine archaeology unit. Eventually, expert divers equipped with metal detection equipment were sent in and managed to extract about 2,000 gold coins from the seabed, which together weighed about 6 kilograms. Surely the ship to which this treasure belonged was linked to the town of Caesarea Maritima. Founded by Herod more than 2,000 years ago, in this city is one of the most important constructions of the Roman Empire, the port of Sebastos, built between the years 23 to 15 BC, which became the largest artificial port made in the open sea and a vital point for trade. It came to rival the port of Alexandria controlled by Cleopatra. In 2009, David Booth bought a very basic metal detector for occasional outings to search for lost objects. For him, it was just a hobby, but with beginner's luck, the first day he used it, he made one of Scotland's greatest discoveries. Near the town of Stirling, after surveying the land and obtaining permission from the landowner, he arrived at the site, parked his car, and began his search. Booth had an intuition that he could find something related to the Iron Age, and so he did. He walked 7 steps from the car and started digging where the detector indicated. He managed to recover 4 magnificent necklaces or torques made of gold from the year 300 BC. The next day, Booth reported the find to the National Museum of Scotland, and Dr. Fraser Hunter, head of the museum's Iron Age and Roman department, commented that he almost fell off his chair at the sight of the find. It was not for less, since nothing similar had ever been seen in Scotland in the Iron Age, since this style of torque came from the Mediterranean, but the 4 necklaces also integrated the Scottish or Irish style. The necklaces were valued at almost £500,000, and the National Museum of Scotland managed to acquire them in 2011. These are just a few examples of treasure hunters who have unearthed only a tiny part of the immense potential that lies beneath the ground we walk on. Perhaps one day all the pieces can be put together to know the true history of our past.